This is like one of the dumbest things ever, but you have to see this to believe it. Wait, hold up. Taylor Swift, it's one thing to use the name Folklore, but we're out here stealing black women's logos too. So this is the thing. What I want to show this to you for is it looks like Taylor Swift just threw some money at this company and then they were like, thank you, Taylor. Just hold up. Look at this. So basically, if you're going to take the word folklore, you just come up with the idea. I'm going to use the word folklore for something. And then you're going to put a the next to it. How in the world is that copyrightable? I don't think it is. These two designs are completely different. And if you're going to use the word the and folklore, obviously, with all the different things out there, eventually you're going to look like someone else's thing. They didn't see this and then say, ooh, let's steal that, because they know they'd get in trouble for it. This is where it gets crazy, and we'll come back up in a second. Taylor's team gets a hold of them and then says, I admire the work you're doing. I'm happy to make a contribution to your company. And then they come back with, thank you, Tyler, wishing you all the best. So basically, Taylor Swift had to take the out and just put folklore on there, because if you look, Taylor knows she's one, got enough money, and two, since they're bringing race into the whole thing, that now Taylor's like, I don't want to even start this. So she just throws some money at the issue, takes the out, the word the out of it, and then, you know, it's over. But the way that people are reacting on Twitter and then the rest of this is just crazy. So listen, this morning it came to my attention the musician is selling merchandise to go along with her new album, Folklore. She's currently selling, oh, by the way, did you know there was another musician who named an album Folklore? So are we going to say that nobody can use a basic word now to describe their creativity? Because obviously as time goes on, every way to make a logo or anything else is going to get used. I believe the designer of the merch ripped off my company. Sharing my story to bring light to the trend of large companies copying the work of small minority-owned business owners. So we would have to believe that Taylor Swift and her team purposely went and looked at this and said, let's copy this. It just seems absolutely insane. And it seems like this person is bringing it up so that they could probably pressure Taylor Swift into making a donation or to changing things or something, using the outrage mob that would generate from it. And if you look, it's exactly what happens. Taylor comes in and pays. I think this is a really bad precedent to set. If you throw a big enough fit, we're going to go ahead and throw some cash at you because we're super rich. So you're going to look at everything that everyone does and try to compare it to you. And if you see that it looks similar, hey, now I just flip out and I'll just bring race into it and everything's good. So let's go down a little further and take a look, because I find it's just like crazy town. So she says, thank you. Okay, well, you know that she said it's a great first step. We're in a conversation with Taylor's team about the next step. And then she actually tags her, right? And by the way, wouldn't you want Taylor to pick the name Folklore? Because isn't people searching for her album name going to bring all these people into look? I would think. In a statement shared with USA Today Friday by Representative Tree Payne, Swift's team detailed the actions taken after the complaint. So listen to this craziness. Yesterday, we were made aware of a complaint that the specific use of the word the before Folklore album on some of the Folklore merch was of concern, the statement read. Absolutely no merchandise using the before the word Folklore has been manufactured or sent out. Well, that's one thing there. It hadn't even been done yet. The statement continued, in good faith, we honored a request, immediately notified everybody who had ordered merch with the word the, and that they will now receive the order with the design change. Rizul confirmed the change on Instagram, writing, Swift's team took a great first step by removing the from all the merchandise. Really? Like, are we even thinking about what we're saying anymore here? Before, I bet you if this whole thing wasn't made about it wouldn't even be this way. And that's my point. It seems kind of messed up. Before Swift announced her planned donation, Rizul also said on Twitter that she commended Swift's team for recognizing the damage the merchandise caused to my company, the Folklore brand. This is crazy. This is psycho. Really? The damage. Yeah, all these people searching Folklore, the Folklore, Folklore, and then scrolling. They're going to see your brand now. So damaging. Wrong button. So damaging. I recognize she's been a strong advocate for women protecting their creative rights, so it was good to see her team is on the same page. Her team isn't on the same page because nothing happened. This is just crazy. It was a great first step, and we're in conversations right now with Taylor's team about the next step to make it right. And that's all. But you know me, we're gonna go to Twitter and take a look, because this is the craziest, stupidest thing that I've ever seen. So let's go here. Taylor Swift changing Folklore merch after a black business owner called her out over similarities to her brand's logo, saying she won't let blatant theft go unchecked. Swift replied, I admire the work you're doing, and offered to donate to her organization. What? Really? So if we're rich and we throw a bunch of money at somebody, it just gets fixed? Wouldn't Taylor argue that it's the word the? and that you have to put the word the in front of things based on the way the English language works, and that she would never go out, search for somebody's stuff and say, that looks good, let's copy it. I mean, for God's sake. And, oh, here's another thought. Is Taylor Swift admitting that her and her brand did steal this? Because if you didn't, then isn't it wrong to sit here and throw money and change things? It's crazy. It's crazy. I love this. Why do you bring race into a design trademark dispute? Why do Americans do this? It's toxic. They are targeting that part of it. They are purposely bringing it in. They're not being intelligent or humble or smart about things and saying, look, we're not going to bring this in because it's just a trademark thing. It obviously has nothing to do with anything else. It matters when black people are deprived of credit because they are disparities in America and have black credit. But that's the point. Only if it actually happened. Are we saying Taylor did this? And if we are, why is everybody okay with it now? So we're admitting that Taylor did try to steal this concept because you're treating it like Taylor did this when it's obvious Taylor didn't do this. And if Taylor didn't throw any money, do you think it'd be okay? Isn't this crazy? I'm just nuts or something. Ignoring race isn't the neutral position it might appear to be. What in the world is wrong with everybody? My God. The only similarity is the construction and naming, while the font is an entire different thing. Since folklore can't be a trademarked word, there is zero reasons to call for theft. Thank you. And if she didn't copy and steal it, then why pay them? And then why submit to this? Anyway, placing the word the on the left side looks too familiar to be a coincidence. So the word the that has to be used more than any other word in the English language, especially when you're talking about a thing like this and it's some trademark. So it's either folklore or it's the folklore. Well, since it's the folklore album, you want to just say folklore album? I see what I'm saying. Now we have to think about these things before we do this. What? This is crazy. This is the end result of all of this garbage that's been pushed out for the last while, though, if you didn't know. It isn't stealing anything. It's similar design. It's many basic logos are. Given her resources, no reason not to just redesign it just to make sure there's a clear difference. Given her resources, that's the issue. When you allow this to happen at the top level when people have all this money, then it's going to happen all the way down. You shouldn't set these types of precedents. This shouldn't be this way. Why are we going to treat people different because they have a shit ton of money and we're going to say, you need to throw that at us? It just seems crazy. Very simple design. I see this concept all over. Not really creative. Can't say that she stole it. Yes, it's similar. She's changing, but come on now. Thank you. Admiration and stealing are very different. She had her team alter the clothing item and is working things through with the brand's owner. She also made a contribution and organization and shouted them out to 86 million followers. Must have been an honest mistake because Taylor is not about that kind of business. So we have to imagine Taylor Swift has the ability to do anything she wants, and she goes and looks to see what other people are doing and then copies it instead of just, I guess it's possible, but still, it doesn't seem that way. Love to see, keep calling it out, attacking, even bullying these rich folks into accountability. This is why Twitter is a cesspool. Who cares if they're rich? You looking down upon people just because they're rich is just the same thing as people looking down on other people for any stupid reason, by the way. They did the right thing calling her out. Inspiration doesn't pay bills or cover profit. I thought it was about intent. I thought it was about, if you have an intention of doing, so you could just, Taylor could just do something. And if she doesn't have to do anything wrong, she could draw a picture. And now all of a sudden, oh my goodness. Okay, it doesn't even look similar. She should have given her percentage of all merch sold, not some handout dono. This is 2020. This is 2020, people. This is 2020. I just had to make a video on this. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, dude. Could you imagine if this is where we're at now? What is 2022 or 2024 gonna look like? UNIRock out. This is too much, dude. UNIRock out.